The television show My 600-Pound Life tells the stories of morbidly obese people working to regain control of their lives. At more than 600 pounds, guests on the show face serious medical problems, and in the worst cases, individuals are trapped in bed because they are no longer strong enough to move their ever-expanding bodies. The question most first-time viewers ask is, how does someone become 600 pounds? And while the long answer is probably an endless list of psychological problems, the short answer is rather simple. Someone becomes 600 pounds by making one poor choice, in this case, eating too much, many times over. One of the biggest problems with many poor decisions like eating too much is that their effects aren't immediately apparent. Unfortunately, this problem can lead you to unknowingly make the same bad decision for years. Then, only when it's too late do you realize your mistake. So in this video, I'll show you how to identify harmful behaviors, and more importantly, I'll give you a framework for making decisions that will help you build a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Let's get started. Life-changing decisions are often thought of as large, one-time decisions that have obvious and immediate effects on our lives. Where we go to college, who we marry, and what career we choose are examples of immediate and obvious life-changing decisions. Because the effects of small decisions are often insignificant, we tend to believe that they're not that important. But when combined with the power of consistency over time, small decisions can be just as life-changing as large decisions. For example, a lifetime of wise financial decisions will lead to a comfortable retirement, and a lifetime of poor financial decisions will not. So what's key to understand here is this: every decision you make is shaping your life in some way. When you really stop and think about it, at any given point in your life, you're standing at a fork in the road with a decision to make. You can choose a positive behavior that takes you towards the life you want, or you can choose a negative behavior that takes you away from the life you want. As an example, if you want to become an entrepreneur, then spending your free time building a business is an example of a positive behavior. Now, in contrast, spending your free time partying is an example of a negative behavior. I'm not suggesting that partying is always a negative behavior. It's just a negative behavior in this case because it takes you away from your goal of starting a business. But if your goal in life is to enjoy your time having fun with friends, then partying is a positive behavior. I'm also not trying to make you feel like your life is a never-ending, stressful decision. I'm simply trying to explain the importance of your decisions. This concept also applies to your beliefs, or what could be considered mental actions. And your beliefs are important because they influence your behavior. So if you want to get ahead in your career, but you have the belief that I'm unworthy, then that's unhelpful because those thoughts will influence you to choose behaviors that take you away from your goals. So in this case, maybe that's not applying for a job or asking for a raise. However, if you have the belief that I am worthy, then those thoughts will influence you to choose behaviors that take you towards your goals. So in this case, that might be applying for the new job or asking for a raise. Ultimately, this concept applies to all areas of your life. How you think and behave is constantly shaping your health, career, relationships, and lifestyle in some way. From a purely logical point of view, it's hard to understand why you would behave in ways that take you away from the life you want. But the following 4 reasons explain why. Reason number 1 is you don't realize you have a choice. The first decade or more of your life is primarily controlled by your parents. The rules for eating, sleeping, and playing are made for you, and typically a set of consequences enforce those rules. But at some point, you transition from a do-what-I'm-told life to an I-have-a-choice life. And while this transition comes easily to some, other people struggle with the sudden lack of structure. For this reason, many people follow the herd. They might go to college, get a job, or start a family, not necessarily because they want to, but because they've been led to believe that they're supposed to. Reason number 2 is you feel pressured. In addition to doing things because we think we're supposed to, we often do things because we think we have to. And when this happens, fear and guilt are often at play. As an example, you might want to drop out of medical school, but you continue going because you fear disappointing your parents and feel guilty about wasting their money. Family dynamics might also play a role. So you might maintain an unhealthy relationship with an alcoholic father because you fear disappointing your mother and feel guilty about turning your back on family. Reason number 3 is your beliefs are inaccurate. At times, you might think that you're doing the right thing when in reality, you're actually doing the wrong thing. And this problem typically occurs when you have inaccurate beliefs. For example, a husband might believe that buying his wife gifts will make her happy, when in reality, all she wants is his quality time. Unknowingly, he doubles down on buying her gifts in an attempt to make her happy, which unfortunately has the opposite effect he hopes to have. And reason number 4 is doing the wrong thing feels good. I've covered this topic in depth on the channel before, so I'll keep it brief. But basically, many negative behaviors offer immediate short-term rewards. So the rewards of eating a piece of cake, spending too much, or relaxing are available immediately. In contrast, many positive behaviors only offer long-term rewards. So the benefits of starting your own business, investing in a 401k, or diet and exercise are only available after months, years, or decades of consistent effort. Because rewards are pleasurable, and because we love feeling pleasure, many people choose negative behaviors that give them short-term rewards. Hey, I just wanted to take a quick break to tell you about my app, Aware. Aware is a self-improvement based meditation app, and it has dozens of courses that teach you important skills like how to make better decisions, build good habits, and develop more self-confidence. Now, the app combines all of those lessons with guided meditation, which helps you develop the state of mind and self-awareness needed to apply what you've learned in everyday life. On top of that, you also get the benefits of meditation, like improved focus and sleep, plus a reduction in negative emotions like stress, anxiety, and sadness. I believe Aware is different because every session is unique. In the hundreds of lessons inside the app, you'll hear interesting stories, helpful ideas, and be asked thought-provoking questions to support what you're learning. So if you like the type of content you see on this channel and self-improvement in general, then I think you'll love Aware. It's available on iOS, Android, and the web, and you can get started today for free with the links below in the description. Let's get back to the video. All right, now that you know how to identify poor decisions, here are 5 ideas that can help you make better decisions. Idea number 1 is ask yourself what you want. I know this might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people go through life without ever asking themselves what they want from it. You see, many of these people don't realize they have a choice. These people go through life letting fear and guilt convince them that they should or have to do most of the things they do. You face one big problem when you don't ask yourself what you want from life. You have nowhere to aim. You see, without clearly defined values and goals, you have no way of evaluating your behavior. In contrast, when you clearly define what you want from life, you can quickly assess your behavior by asking yourself if it takes you towards your goals and values or away from them. So knowing this, here's a tip that you can use to help you define what you want from life, and that is imagine your funeral. Now, I know this might sound grim, but it's a great way to help you live a meaningful life. So to do this, just imagine how you want to be remembered and what you want people to say about you at your funeral. Then ask yourself, if I continue living life the way that I currently am, will my funeral turn out the way that I want it to? If the answer to that question is no, then it's up to you to rewrite a better ending. Idea number 2 is stay in touch with reality. If you lose sense of reality when setting your goals, then you can easily set yourself up for disappointment. So let me give you an example. If you're 11 years old, athletically gifted, and hardworking, then striving to play professional basketball in the NBA is a lofty but reasonable goal. In contrast, if you're 52 years old, athletically challenged, and lazy, then striving to play professional basketball in the NBA is a terrible goal that will only leave you feeling like a failure. So knowing this, here are 2 tips that can help you set realistic goals. Tip number 1 is consider your current position. When considering your current position, it's important to remember 2 things. First, there will be times in your life when you need more time. So if you're 23 years old and just landed your first job at a Fortune 100 company, don't expect to become the CEO in 6 months. And second, there will be times in your life when your window of opportunity has already passed. So if you're 55 years old and are just learning to swim, don't expect to make the next Olympic team. Tip number 2 is consider your circumstances. Sometimes your circumstances limit what is possible for you to achieve. So if you're trapped in a communist country, it's pointless to hold on to the dream of starting your own business. Likewise, there's no point in trying to have a loving relationship with someone who doesn't want the same thing. Idea number 3 is make a plan. Imagine if you had to drive from Los Angeles to New York City without directions. You'd encounter many forks in the road, and inevitably, you'd make poor choices that would send you off course. Now, in contrast, when you have directions, you have a plan that guides you every step of the way. The same thing can be said for building the life you want. Many people know what they want from life, but they have no idea how to get there. As a result, they randomly stumble through life, never getting closer to the goal. To fix this problem, build a plan. The truth is, between you and any attainable goal is a series of small steps. Now, to figure out what those steps are, do some research, ask for advice, and learn through experience. Idea number 4 is let your values be your guide. One of the best ways to live a fulfilling life that you can be proud of is to live a life guided by values. You see, when you live a life guided by values, you have a set of principles that can guide you at every fork in the road. Here's some examples. You might set the goal of achieving financial freedom, but only through legal, fair, and safe means. Or you might aim to have a happy marriage, but only with the mutual agreement that you and your partner will remain honest, committed, and monogamous. If you don't know what your values are, you can ask yourself a simple question. What type of person do I hope to become? Then work to adopt a set of values that will allow you to become that type of person. And finally, idea number 5 is recognize that there's more than one way to bake a cake. There are certain things in life that we have to do. As an example, unless you want to be homeless, you have to earn enough money to put a roof over your head. Unfortunately, these type of have-to scenarios can lead people to believe that they don't have a choice. And when this happens, it can lead them to make decisions that keep them unhappy. As an example, the need to pay the bills might influence somebody to keep a job that they hate. But thankfully, as the saying goes, there's more than one way to bake a cake. So if you have to pay your bills but hate your job, then find another job. Likewise, if you have to get in shape but hate the idea of walking on a treadmill or lifting weights, then find a more enjoyable way to burn some calories. I can't thank you enough for watching this video, and I hope it was helpful. Now, I am shamelessly trying to grow this channel, so it would mean the world if you could subscribe, like, and share the video. Believe it or not, it takes over 100 hours to make these videos, so any help would be greatly appreciated. As a final note, I've also got a list of helpful resources linked below, like a transcript of this video that covers all of the ideas I shared today in a clear and organized format. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.